It's Hot Rod Reverend here. Before we get into the video real quick, I want to tell you about the website, hotrodreverend.com. Visit the website, you'll find out why I have the name Hot Rod Reverend. I am a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I want you to visit that page and see what the gospel is all about. Number two, visit hotrodreverend.com shop. One of the greatest deals I've got going is this. I've got a digital download for only $10 that includes all of the pages, almost 1,000 of the 1949 to 59 Ford parts catalogs, illustrations, all the rest of it in these catalogs. In addition to those two catalogs, I've also got a late 50s Ford engine shop manual that covers a little bit more than the Y block. It covers 6-cylinder as well. And then I've got owner's manuals. There's a lot in that download. Visit that today. Thank you for supporting the channel. Okay, I've got my intake manifold out here and I'm getting ready to install it. Let me go over a couple of tips for you that'll be a tremendous help, I hope. Number one, on the gaskets that seal around the intake ports, I like using white lithium grease. Now, I'm a guy that likes to tinker. I'm constantly swapping intakes, fooling around, everything else. You can use your favorite, that's fine. But this stuff here will seal really well. It'll make it to where you could reuse your intake manifold gaskets. I've reused this pair probably 4 times. And no leaks, no problems, not an issue. Around the exhaust port that crosses over, and then also around the 2 coolant ports up front, I will use just some simple high temp red RTV silicone. Works well. It'll also work well for my thermostat housing. I'll go over this in just a minute with you, but these 2 products here is what I like to use to seal the intake manifold gaskets. Then also to seal the hoses. Maybe it's the radiator hose that will go to my thermostat housing. Maybe it's the heater hoses. Maybe it's that little bypass hose. Napa Seal Glide is some great stuff that will not only seal the hose. Napa Seal Glide is some great. Napa, yeah, this is a tongue twister. All right, Napa Seal Glide is some great stuff that will help you seal up around your thermostat housing here where your radiator hose goes. You can tell this is a little bit brown. That stuff has like a brownish tint to it. But what it makes it easier to do is not only seal, but when you take off your radiator hose, you take off your heater hose, your bypass hose from your thermostat housing, it really makes it so much simpler. The hose doesn't really melt to the cast iron or to the aluminum. It'll just slide right off. I really like this product here. This is a good one. Now, let's talk about the thermostat housing for just a second. I've removed the old thermostat housing, and you can tell right here there's some pits. If you have a used thermostat housing, most probably yours is not squeaky clean and squeaky smooth, okay? Make sure that this is entirely clean before you put a new gasket on it. I like using silicone on this because it takes up any of the crevices, any of the problems. It's not an oil issue. It's not going to get to your oil pump. So just in coolant flow, it'll be fine if you get any pieces in there. Typically, I don't have any issue, and I don't think you will either. This kind of stuff here is kind of industry standard. Just don't get too crazy with it. I've got a new gasket, of course. You really don't need something high-tech with that. One thing about the orientation of the thermostat, this is extremely important to remember. You can see where the spring is at. Don't forget that little peak right there, this goes into the thermostat. So basically, when you mount your thermostat inside your housing, it should look like this. It's going to go in first. You see there's an inset here. Thermostat goes inside the thermostat housing. Then you seal this up with your gasket and your favorite sealer. I use the red RTV, of course. And then you also want to make sure that your intake, and I'm going to take the camera and just kind of show you this real quick. Now for cast iron manifolds, typically there's not a huge issue with any kind of warpage. If you got something aluminum aftermarket, do be careful that these thread bosses don't pull out and make this to where it's warped or it's uneven. You do want to make sure this is perfectly straight, as you do want to make sure your thermostat housing surface is perfectly straight, because you want this to seal up. This could be a pesky area if you're not careful, especially down here at the bottom. That's extremely important there. And again, using a little bit of silicone will help take up some of these crevices here. It's not uncommon for guys to use a straight edge and sand this surface completely smooth, even have it machined smooth. I've seen guys do that. It's not going to be an issue so long as your bypass tube is in good shape. Now, this bypass tube here, I have replaced it with just some 5/8 inch OD stock. I still got some of that left. These are quite simple to repair. If you've got a bypass tube that's corroded, you don't have to throw this away unless it's just really bad with your mounting surface. But I've been using this one for a long time, as you can tell. All right, about ready to install here. I've got gaskets already. This is my crankcase ventilation tube. I'll pull that out of the way. What I like to do is have the thermostat housing already attached, ready to go to the intake manifold. A little bit of seal glide on there, and just slide it right into the bypass hose. Of course, these things are not light. And there we go, lickety split. Easy breezy. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel, and then also visit hotrodreverend.com. Subscribe to the blog there, and you'll get an email notification every time that I post a new article, and we'll see you around.